Hi friends, this is Arindam. I am back today with a short review of another badminton racket. This one is by Head. So the racket's called Head Xenon Blast. Head Xenon Blast. So what I'll do is I'll just unpack this and put a short review of this racket. The racket's bought from Amazon. As you can see, it came in a bag. The bag's rather nice. I'm not sure if you can figure out the quality of the bag from this video, but the quality of the bag is kind of nice. It kind of has a leathered feeling, although all of us know that it's actually Rexin or some kind of foam padded material. It's not really a leather bag, that's not possible. But anyway, so let's open this racket. By the way, let me first give you some introduction of Head. In case you do not already know, Head is a company which has more of a name for producing tennis equipments. They produce tennis rackets, tennis balls, other tennis equipment, and in fact I think squash rackets too. But what most of us, or rather many of us, do not know that Head also have a they also have a quite decent range of badminton equipments, including badminton rackets. So this is one such racket, so which I want to review for you today. The racket's called Head Xenon Blast. Here goes. I'm not sure if the video camera is able to focus perfectly on the name, but yes, this is it. It comes in a beautiful color. I'm not sure of the exact name of the color, what you may call it. Maybe you can call it pink predominantly or peach. And this part of it is kind of metallic green color. The racket came unstrung, as you can see, with these descriptions or literature, as you may figure out. Okay, and consisting description of different series of rackets from Head. This one is from the Xenon series. Now the first thing that will strike you is the look of the racket, and the finish of the racket is really very good. It's very good. It's very good. The racket finish, it has a matte finish. Everything is finished so well. The graphics are well designed, well thought of, and well finished, right? As you can see, here I have the upper limit of string tension mentioned, which is 30 pounds, which is quite a lot, probably enough for the majority of players, even if they are like intermediate or professional players. The grip, according to Head, is a G4 grip. It's a G4 grip. Okay, so as I said, the graphics on this racket is done really nice, really nice. Now let me go through a few more specifics of the racket. So regarding the weight category, this is what you call a 5U racket. The weight of the racket, overall weight of the racket unstrung, is about 77 grams plus minus 2 grams, which is bound to happen. The grip is G4 and the balance of this racket is head heavy. Now when I say head heavy, it's actually in one of the websites it's mentioned as 295 millimeters. So I would say it's kind of just inclined to being head heavy from even balance, because what we know is that probably 285 to 295 is what you call the even balance category. So it's just 295, so I think you can call it just a little bit inclined toward the head heavier side. Of course, technically speaking, it is head heavy though, but as we all know, if you put an extra over grip, the balance might come down. So now regarding the feel of the racket, it's quite good actually. It has different kind of technologies implemented in this racket, as many of the racket manufacturers would do and they would mention. Of course, the first thing would be that it can withstand tensions up to 30 pounds. The second thing being Head using this particular system called AFT, some amplified fiber technology. So they say this helps on the response part and the resilience part and the recovery part of the racket after a shot. Of course, this is one of the lighter ones, so let me remove the paper now for you. So now I've removed the paper from the racket frame, and here you can see the racket. Let me give you one more closer look of the racket. I'm not sure if you are able to figure out how pretty the racket is. It really looks pretty, and I think this is one of the features of the head rackets. Actually, we have one showroom. You see, it's also, the words also very nicely laid out here in the inner part of the racket rim. So I think this is in fact a feature of many of the head rackets. Actually, their graphics is done very well. So they say the rackets are designed in Austria, and I think the rackets made in China. Yeah, here it also says the rackets made in China, right? So now regarding how the racket feels, I think the racket feels pretty well. It says the flexibility is medium, which I think is kind of a correct description. It's made of high modulus graphite, as they say. Okay, the flexibility, as I said, is medium, and it has a very nice feel. Of course, it's not strung, so, and I'm only sitting indoors, I'm not playing with it, so I won't be able to give you an accurate description of how it might feel on the court. But as of now, how the feeling is like in the hand, it actually feels quite good, right? Now what I want to tell you is that I think this is, I mean, if you're considering a racket below 2000 rupees, and let me tell you the price actually, which I forgot. I got this from Amazon, and it has cost me rupees 1735, so which is kind of in the same category as a Nanoray Lite 18i, which is possibly one of the best selling rackets in Amazon. And even I do have one Nanoray Lite 18i, so I think in that sense this can be considered an alternative or a competitor of the Nanoray Lite 18i. However, which one is actually better depends on a person's evaluation, or is subjective, and is also dependent on a person's experience on court with the racket. Of course, I played with the Nanoray Lite 18i. I definitely like the racket very much. It's a flexible racket. I think this one is mid-flex. Nanoray Lite 18i has a little bit more flex to it. And also the balance point of Nanoray Lite 18i. So here comes another point of comparison. The balance point of a Nanoray Lite 18i is around 300 millimeters. This one's around 295 millimeters. So in that respect, the Nanoray Lite 18i is a little bit more head heavy, and also it is a little bit more flexible. Having been said that, as all of us know, Nanoray Lite 18i is an extremely popular racket in that price range, and can generate very good power even for the beginners who don't have that much of accurate or desired technique, for example like me. So but this I think can be a good alternative to Nanoray Lite 18i. Of course, this looks very pretty, and however this is leaning a little bit more toward the even balance category, I would say, because the balance point, even if it being 295 millimeters, whenever you put an extra over grip, it will come down, so the racket will tend to become even balance. So this is my opinion of the racket. Looks very nice, feels very nice in the hand. The finish is very well done. It's a matte finish. The colors are very pretty. The crossover of the graphics with the regions cross, very well done. Here you can see the grommets. The grommets are also very nicely done. The shaft is not too thin, but even then I think it's on the thinner side, right? And all other things about the racket is good. You have the head logo made up here. According to the import date, this racket was imported March 2021. and it has a retail price mentioned of rupees 2599. However, as I said, I obtained it for rupees 1735. Okay, now the interesting part actually. So what will happen is I am actually going to return this racket, and the reason being, first of all, it's a fun story. Actually, I did not order this racket. What I had ordered is another version of the Xenon series, which is called Xenon Lite. So Xenon Lite has a weight of 74 grams, which is 3 grams lighter than this, and you can call it a more head heavy racket or an extremely head heavy racket because it has a balance point at 310 millimeters. So I had ordered that racket, but I'm not sure why the supplier has sent me this racket. Also in the description, the racket of the web description of the racket, it was mentioned that the racket is strung, but the racket I received, it came unstrung. So those being the reasons, I'm returning this racket. However, maybe I would have still kept this racket, but ultimately I'm letting go of this racket for one last reason, is that the overall height of this racket. So what I found is that the overall height of this racket is about 665 millimeters, right, which is the same as that of a Nanoray Lite 89. In fact, I have compared the two rackets closely. The dimensions, the frame perimeter and how the frame is laid out, the grip size, all of these things are almost identical, almost same to same, right? So I already have a Nanoray Lite 89, and I was actually looking for a racket which has a length of closer to 675 millimeters. For example, closer to the length of a Finapi 232 or the length of an leaning Air Force G2 series. But this one is, I mean, to me, this one is kind of a copy or kind of what do you call a backup for a Nanoray Lite 89. But I already have a Nanoray Lite 89, and as I said, I was not looking for another racket in that length category or in that particular what you call balance category and all. So I'm choosing to let go of this racket. I'll probably go for another racket which is in the standard length category of 675 millimeters. So finally, that being the driving reason. Otherwise, actually, I would have loved to keep this racket. I mean, maybe I would have kept this racket even if they have shipped the wrong product, if only the racket length was 675 millimeters or it was a standard length racket. The reason being, me being a beginner, I don't want to keep switching between rackets with varying lengths of 1 centimeter. In other words, I don't want to switch between a racket, let's say Air Force G2, which is about 675 or 672.5 millimeters, and Nanoray Lite 89, which is 665 millimeters length racket, because I don't want to make that switch too often between rackets which have a length variation of nearly, let's say, 1 centimeter. So I already have the Nanoray Lite 89, so let that be there. But the new racket I want to get, I would like to have one in the 675 millimeter ish length. So I'm feeling a little bit bad that I am having to let it go, but that's that, can't help it. But before we go, let me just show you the racket once more before we leave, and also before the racket leaves me, at least for now. But last thing before we leave, if you want my opinion, if you want to get the racket, I think you can. It's a very nice looking racket, and it can be a good alternative of the Nanoray Lite 89, only that the balance is a less head heavy one, and the flexibility is toward the medium category instead of the Nanoray Lite 89 being in the head heavy category of 300 millimeter. This one's 295 millimeters. So that's my last opinion. I hope you liked the video. There's also not many reviews of head badminton rackets around, so in case some of you are willing to purchase this racket from Amazon or whatever site, I think this video will be of some help to you. And my parting words to Head, I think you are doing a good job. Keep it up. This racket is really likable, even though I'm returning it. Otherwise, as an independent choice, this racket is really likable and it's a good job by Head. So thank you, Head. And that's all for now for you guys. You have a good time playing on the court and as well as watching good games of badminton. We'll meet again. Thank you.